to this video where we'll explore the dynamic form items feature. This allows you to create form items dynamically through the onload script in the activity template setting. So let's dive into the steps to enable and use this functionality. To begin, I'll start with an existing activity template. Right here you can see that the template is empty, there are no items yet. Next, click on Edit Template, and in our script section we'll expand it and we'll see onload script. We'll use a JSON based script. So JSON or JavaScript object notation is widely used format for storing and exchanging data. It's both human readable and machine parsable, and I'll show you how that will look like. You can type directly into the script input box, but for better readability, click on the calculator icon to open a model with a larger text area. So let's start with a very simple example. I'll add two form items, a number data entry and a string data entry, and then explain it. So here's a simple script that adds the two form item. First, let's analyze this. First, we need to type form items. This name here represents the array, which is our current form items. And what push does is it acts as an action that adds the items inside it into the form items. Each item or the object in the JSON will need to be enclosed with curly brackets like this. So here we have one and then two items. And then inside each object, we would have properties. So for example, activity items, these are some of the available properties. So for the first one, we have the name, which is field 1. We've added a hint to the users, which is just fill in, the key, which is the unique key. So this is just very similar to our normal UI, except it's typed out in this form. And the item type is data entry. The data type is number, and the item is active. And for our second field, I just named field 2, the item key field 2, item type data entry, and data type is string. But for this one, the difference is I'll also just make it required as well. So now once our script is written, click Save to apply our changes. And then we'll click Save again to finalize the template. So if we close this, you see that the form is now populated with the items we just defined. So we have field 1 with the hint that says fill in, and field 2, which is a text field, and it's required. Now that we've seen the basics, let's look at the full list of configurable options for form items. This list and other relevant information is available on our frequently updated help documentation, help.tillit.cloud. In our table 1, activity item properties, as you can see, there are many things to choose from. We have two different types of tables here, which is a property table and a data type table. So each property table has the following column. First, the property name, the name of the property used in the system. And then we have the property, which is the code that we need to put into our JSON object. And the data type, the kind of information this property accepts. So for example, for string, this means the property expects the value to be put in double quotes always, regardless of whether they're numbers or text. And then for number, which are numeric values that you don't need to put in quotes. And finally, Boolean, which is true or false, written in text form. And finally, another data type would be our custom data types, which is what these tables are for. So instead of putting any text or any number or true or false, the values of the properties are limited to these options, and you need to put these in strings, as we have seen in our scripts here, where we have put item type data entry instead of field 1 like this. So that's it. You've learned how to use the dynamic form items feature to create flexible and customizable forms in TilliT. So now let's enhance our script with a more complicated example, which is an option group. Usually you can create an option group by going to data entry here and choosing option, but I'm going to try to create it through the onload script. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go back to help documentation, go back to our table 1 and look for option related properties. So here we have options and item options. So I'm going to go back, go to the onload script, and I'm going to type out the general information of our new item. So to create a new item, just going to go comma down. So every item, every object needs to be enclosed in curly braces. So I just do this. And now first I'm going to have name. I'm going to put this as a single option group, then comma, and then now I will have item key, I'll just put single group and then item type. So it's available through the data entry item type. So I'm just going to go data entry. And now for data type. So now we don't know what the data type is. So we go back to our help documentation. Here, go to data type. It will say see table 3 data type for all the possible data types. I click on there. I'm going to go find option group. So we have option. So I'm going to put option here. And now, if we remember before, the properties that have to do with option groups would be options. I'll leave this blank for now. And item options. I'll leave this blank for now as well. And I will also mark it to be active so that the form can be fill-outable. Otherwise, it would just be inactive and you cannot interact with the form. And also is required. True. So now I'm going to go back to the help doc again to look at these two properties. So we will find see table 5. So I click on that. And I will see our option group properties would be name and type. So at this point, option group is its own object or item, just like our activity item. So what we have to do is put it in the curly braces again. And I'll have name. I'll just name this option group. And the type. So the type is also a custom data type. So we go back again. So see table 6. The table 6 is here. So we're creating a single option group. So we have to put single there. I'm going to put single. And that is done. So now with item options, it's the same. We go back to table 1. Go to item options. So it says an array of option items. So we're going to have multiple. So an array is represented by square brackets. So I'm just going to put a square bracket there first. And then I'm going to go to our table 7. And we can see in our option items property table is that only name and value are required as the property. So I'm only going to use that to simplify the script. So here again, curly braces because it's a new object. So name, I'll put option 1. And then value, option 1. And now if I'll just beautify this for it to look more presentable. And if I click save and I click save again, we'll see our single option group that's required. That just has the one option. To create more options, just repeat the process. So I'm going to copy this and comma and then paste this. Put this into option 2. And then the same thing again, 3, beautify it, save, and save again. And now you have 3 options. That is how you create dynamic form items in TilliT. This is the end of our video. See you in the next one.